fact, extend my gratitude to our sponsors because without them we wouldn't be able to deliver this webinar. Now let's take a few seconds to mark our location on the map. You can find the pointer right next to the participants panel. It looks like the sun. So just press everybody. Did you find the toolbar? Did you find it, everybody? Good. So, let's begin then. So, I'd like to welcome you all and thank you for choosing. No worries, Peggy. So, I'd like to welcome you all and thank you for choosing this webinar. Fantastic, from Phoenix, that's great. So, I'm Theodore and I work as a nearfall teacher at a language center in Salamis. This webinar will last approximately 50 minutes, so you'll be free to leave at 5 minutes to 6. Now, I have set 3 aims for this webinar. My first aim is to help you realize the importance of songs through a quick input session. As for my second goal is to expose you to various ways of exploiting songs. So I'll definitely need your help there. And as for my last objective, which is to motivate you to use songs in the classroom, I just hope that it will be a consequent result of this webinar. So, Bob Marley once said, "One good thing about music, when it hits you, you feel no pain." I couldn't agree more with this quote. You know, music is literally everywhere and hits us daily in restaurants, cafes, shopping malls, theaters, sport events, at our homes, in our cars. But it still seems that the only place music and song is slow to catch on is in schools. I presume that this reluctance to use songs in the classroom is due to the fact that many teachers and students cling to the attitude that if something is done, you cannot be learning. Like medicine, we think if it doesn't taste nasty, it cannot be doing us any good. On the contrary, music and song can be as great and as useful as, and sometimes more, than conventional classroom materials. You may ask, how can we benefit from songs? Well, many educators have repeatedly written on the benefits of songs in an ELT setting. These benefits can be summarized under 2 prominent factors, the linguistic factors and the affective factors. As we can see clearly, the linguistic factors revolve around the language skills that songs enable us to practice with our learners. It is fine clear that songs can be an inexhaustible source of materials for practicing vocabulary and functional language, to grammatical structures, pronunciation, and of course, the 4 skills. Can you type the 4 skills in the chat panel, please? Well done, Costantino and Peggy. So we've got the receptive and productive skills. The receptive skills are listening and reading, and the productive skills, yeah, hooray, well done, Peggy. And the productive skills are writing and speaking. Now, thematic states that music ties words and motions and increases memorability. But these aren't the only things that music can do. Music, when expressed through songs, can add fun to learning, can motivate learners, and stimulate their interest. It can also help us, teachers, to build rapport and enliven our lessons. But how can we design a song-based lesson? Well, traditionally, songs are explored in 3 stages. The pre-study stage, where we try to draw learners' attention by providing them with a task which will stimulate their interest and engage them. The while studying stage, where learners are assigned tasks to perform. Notice that in this stage, the tasks directly exploit the song. And the post-study stage. Here, the songs provide the stimulus for further activities. The activities are mainly concerned with practice on productive skills, which, as we said earlier, are speaking and writing. Now, what about how to choose a song? Surely, many of us struggle when it comes to seeking the most suitable song for our lesson. I usually use 5 criteria to help me choose. First, I consider its content and its relevance to my learners' interests and whether it is appropriate for the age or not. Then, I think about the different ways in which I can exploit it. Can I elicit vocabulary, a certain functional language, a grammatical structure, or focus on pronunciation, or the 4 skills again? Finally, I check the pace of the song. It is really important to make sure that my learners are able to cope with the recording. Therefore, if I want them to practice their listening skills, I'll make sure that my tasks are created. Now, if you have downloaded the PDF file and turned to pages 4 and 5, you will find an indicative checklist of these criteria along with some specifications. I think that this will help you be more focused and set clear aims about your lesson. I'd like everybody to take a few seconds and read this slide. I'm glad you agree with this quote. So, it is quite true that reiterating individual words or utterances can turn a lesson into an interesting learning experience. Why then insist when songs can do the trick for us? So don't be afraid to play a song many times in your classroom. It can only do good. You know, catchy songs cause the brain-eating and scratching phenomenon as described by Keith Duffy. Once hearing them, they can stay in one's mind for a while or forever. And this is how the repetition mechanism of the language acquisition device is being activated, as also substantiated by Tim Murphy. Exactly, Peggy. We've got many toddlers and they adore these songs. They learn them by heart and they sing them all day long. Now, I think it's time to put to practice what we just learned in sort of a way. We're going to get a taste of song-based lesson. I'd like you to listen to a medley. Please listen carefully and try to guess who the artist is. Please do not reveal the name yet. Okay, it's a top secret. So Laura, please do not reveal the name. Okay, so are you ready to listen? Good. Off we go. So did you find it? Can you type the artist, please, if you have identified it? Doesn't ring a bell. Yes, Theodore, yes. Okay, so, Theodore, what do you know about this artist? Can you type it? Can you type it? Okay, she has a lot of hits. Many awards, correct? Yes? Yes, the learning is right, yes. So, let's check. This is our artist. She's Adele. Yes, you're always right. Yes. Okay, so what I'd like to point out at this point is this thing over here. You can see my finger showing it. Well, she got inspired by a breakup. Believe me, this is extremely important for what is about to come next. Okay? So, it is actually time for some rolling in the deep. I really hope that you're an Adele fan, because one of her songs is going to be our guinea pig for today. Therefore, let me introduce you to a really cool website which conjoins auditory with visual aids. I'm about to use my application sharing, so please accept it. Okay, so here it is, everybody. Lyrics Training. Lyrics Training is an online platform which utilizes embedded YouTube videos to provide learners with a fun way to practice their listening skills and their language skills. There are 4 game modes, as you can see over here, from beginner to expert. The different modes indicate the number of words to be completed in the gaps. Users are also given the opportunity to just sing along by clicking the karaoke button that you can see over here. It has a microphone. Now, I'm going to copy the link and paste it in the chat panel. You will do so right now, unfortunately. So I want everybody to click the link and go over there. Is everybody there? Oh my God, this is sounding too much. Everybody. Good. Now, I'd like you to press the karaoke button to get a taste of this amazing tool, I want you to listen to the whole song. I'm going to do the same. Okay? Fantastic. Have you finished listening? Great. So at this point, I'd like to inform you that if you're interested in more information about lyrics training and its advantages in the ELT setting, you can turn to pages 6 and 7 of the PDF file, and you can find more information. Yeah, Becky, it is fantastic. I love it. I play too many times with it. Yeah. Well, now, I have designed 4 listening tasks for us to practice today. My first task is reordering of sentences. Now, I'd like you to take a few seconds to read these sentences before I begin. Ready? Great. Now, before I begin, I'd like to say that earlier we talked about grading the recording, and this is what I'm trying to do here. I have separated the song into 4 segments, 1 for each task. So, for this task, which as we said is about reordering of sentences, I want you to listen carefully and try to put the sentences in the correct order. Be careful, I'm not going to test you. This is just a demonstration. You just need to, no, you won't. We won't do it. We're just going to listen and take a look at how it is going to look like in the real world. Now, so if you listen to We Could Have Had It All at the beginning of the song, which number will you mark? Great job. So please listen, everybody. Okay, it wasn't difficult. It was difficult. Okay, so if your learners struggle, then you should play the recording again. make sure that before getting the learners to listen to the song, to this part of the song, they have already read these lyrics, so they're aware of what to expect. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next exercise. Exercise 2. It's just you just need to listen to the words and pick the ones that you hear. I don't know, Christina. I have no idea how that I could help you. Okay, just note that using pictures can stimulate learners' interest and aid their comprehension. Yes, I have enabled, oh, here you are. Great. So, if you like, just use your pointer to indicate the words that you can hear, okay? So, listen. That's it. So I can see that you have specific on fire. Did you listen to fire? Yeah, no, I think the sound isn't really good. Yeah, the word baby. Okay, not to worry. It was also gold at the end of the part, and stars. But never mind. If you prepare it, it will be easier. Okay, so moving on to another exercise. This exercise is a typical gap filling. What I would suggest is that you can design a word search with the missing words and get learners to find them and circle them after listening to the specific part of the song. Yes, exactly, Julie. We wouldn't have this problem with the sound. And at piece of presentation, there wasn't such a problem. I think so. Now, are you ready to listen to the third part? Thank you, Theodora. Good. Just take a few seconds again to read the sentences and try to speculate what word is to be completed in the gaps. Ready? Okay. Never happened. Well done. Good, hard, And rolling in there? Good, fantastic. So, was it difficult? Okay, so as you can see, you can do this exercise with your learners. Well, actually, the one with the pictures is even it is even easier than this one. But, you know, it was just a matter of sound, I think. Okay, so now this is the last listening exercise. Well, I've been trying to find a way to exploit fast-paced songs. And this is what I've come up with. You know, you just have to pick one word that is heard many times in a song and get learners to identify the number of times that this word is heard. I think that this keeps them alert and on their toes and whatever else you like to say. Well, for this exercise, I want you to listen on how many times the word play is sung by Adele. Okay? Ready to begin? So can you use the pointer to indicate the number of times that the word was heard? I can see 4. 3 times. 4, okay? Well, I'm going to play the recording again, okay? To make sure. Yes, Christina, well done. It's 5 times. So, can you see now? You just pick a word and you get learners to just try to find this number. So this is actually practice on listening for specific information. Now, before I move on to the next set of exercises, I'd like to use again my application sharing. You could say something like that, Constantina, but it is actually more about listening comprehension, focusing on listening skills. Now, let's try again application sharing. Now, since I've talked to you about grading your recording, this is a great tool to help you do that. You just need to download the MP3 file of the song that you want and upload it over here, mp3cut.net. You open the file, then you cut the exact parts of the song that you want to focus on, and you just save the file, and you've got it as I did with my Rolling in the Deep. I'll copy the link and paste it. There you are. So if you want to try something like that with your learners, this is the best tool to do it. Find your song, cut it, separate it into the segments that you like, that you have designed for each specific task, and off you go. Any questions? Okay, Becky, you're most welcome, Christina. So, moving on. Let's check your comprehension a bit. I'll give you less than a minute to answer questions number 1 and 2, okay? Just to use your pointer again. You're welcome, Becky. Off you go, off you go. No worries, Theodora. So, yes, good, pain and get revenge. Okay, about pain and get revenge. Well done. Fantastic, well done, Christina. Christina, what do you think? Fantastic. Okay, so since this song is about obviously getting revenge, I'd like you to identify 5 key phrases that represent this notion of being angry and wanting to get revenge. I'll use again my application sharing, and I'll navigate it to the lyrics of the song. Here they are. Actually, I'll copy again the link. There you go. You can access the lyrics in the chat panel. Please navigate yourself to the lyrics and try to find 5 key phrases which express your feelings of getting revenge, that you want to get revenge. Great teamwork. I can see that you have identified 3 sentences up to now. Okay, so let me stop now and let's check actually. This is what I've come up with. Do you agree? Fantastic. What I'd like to point out is this thing over here, which many would disagree of showing to our learners. I just want to say that recent data has shown that swearing emerges by the age of 2 and by the time young children enter school, they possess a working vocabulary of 30 to 40 offensive words. Everybody knows that children learn swear words, and many would undoubtedly agree with the fact that this kind of learning is inevitable. Having said that, we can all acknowledge that songs can be a source of swearing, but if exploited correctly, they can set a contextually bound swearing etiquette. In other words, these etiquettes will determine and set the appropriate who, what, where, and when of swearing. For example, in our situation, if you're either facing a blazing road, you can use swearing to express your emotions, your feelings. So, even though I do not say that you should use swearing in your classroom, we can teach our learners when to use these kind of words. Now, we don't really have much time, therefore I'm not going to ask you to match these sentences with their definition, which you can find in the next slide and in your PDF file. But what I would do with my learners, I would give them, after eliciting the functional language, I would get them to find the definition. And after that, I would distribute some slips of paper with some situations in which they could use actually the functional language. Okay, so here is another slide for you. What do you think the next slide will be focusing on? Yes, exactly, Theodore. They could act out some situations. That's what I've said. Well done, Constantine. Yes, minimal pairs, homophones. So the main focus of this slide will be about, well done, Julie, pronunciation. Well, I've decided to use this song as a source of practice for the difference between the long vowel sound E and the short vowel sound E. And this is obviously an indicative way of using this song for pronunciation practice. What I'd like to point out is that when using songs to focus on pronunciation, you instantly provide learners with a natural context which can be very easily engraved on their memory, especially when the micro words are extracted directly from the song. We can either use songs for raising awareness of a pronunciation issue, or as a revision for something already covered. This is obviously up to you to decide what you're going to do with this song. So this is it about the different ways that we can exploit the song. So the last part is a really quick quiz. I'll definitely need your help here. Okay, so I'm going to use again my application sharing. So here I've got the different stages that we did today during the presentation. Can you help me put them in the correct order? Just look and type your answer. What was the first step? What was the second? Okay, if you like, you can point. You can use your pointer to show me the first step. Which song, Julie? Okay, at the very beginning of this presentation, I'm talking mainly about the song-based lesson. We started the presentations with a medley. We listened to the 4 different parts, the 4 different songs. Then we listened to the song on lyrics training. And then I had you to give me some more information about the song and the artist. After that, yes, definitely, Christina. I'm just talking about what we did. So we listened to the medley, then we listened to the song on lyrics training, then there was a follow-up, not speaking activity, but this is what you could have done with your learners. After that, we did the listening tasks, and there were some comprehension questions. After there was the elicitation of the functional language, and finally we could have focused on pronunciation. So these are mainly the things that you can do with a song. You can either focus on listening skills, on language skills such as reading or functional language, pronunciation. Now let's check why we use these activities. So I use the listening task to focus and practice my learners' listening skills. Then to help them discriminate between the difference of the long vowel sound E and the short vowel sound E, I used the marker words from the lyrics. So I focus on pronunciation. When I wanted to get them involved and start talking about the topic and activating their schemata, I used the follow-up speaking activity to get them remember the words about the song and stuff like this. To arouse their interest and engage them, I use the medley. When we're talking about instructional scaffolding, scaffolding is the process by which teachers provide temporary support to learners to help them bridge the gap between what they know and can do and what they need to accomplish in order to succeed at a particular task. And in our case, the karaoke helped learners to get familiarized with the song and its words and work successfully through the whole task. So that's why I used lyrics training to get them familiarized with the song and the lyrics. Then to share information. Okay, so this was the follow-up speaking 50, and I used a slide with Adele's information to check their guesses. To enrich their vocabulary, I practice functional language. And to check their ability to understand the meaning and the mood, I use the Comprehension Check questions. Are there any questions? Sorry I did this, it was a bit messed up. It would have worked better in real life. Well, that's it. That's all, Christina. This is the end of the presentation. I agree with you, Constantina. I'm not talking about specific listening skills right now. I could have given you the specifications, the specific aims, but I'm just talking in general about listening. Okay, hope everybody enjoyed the presentation, the webinar. I'd like to welcome you, Okay, I'd like to thank you all and hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. Have a great evening. Fantastic, Christina. If you want to, this is my Facebook. If you want to share your observations after you have tried these techniques, I would be more than glad to receive any comments. Okay, so that's it.